Hello, welcome to Cajun Prairie Knits episode 5. My name is Kim, and you can find me on Ravelry as Jane Austin and on Instagram as jaustin1775. And it is March 8th or 9th, 2016. And let's see. I have a little bit of knitting, some spinning, and some thrifting, and some future knits to talk about today. So first of all, I think I'll show you my tea first, which it's not very exciting, but it's English breakfast because it's the morning and that's what I drink in the mornings. But I really like this mug. It's called Curiosities, and it's just got insects and buttons and keys and feathers. Yeah, so I really like that. But another tea thing that I got, my friend from work went on a trip, and she knows I like tea, so she bought this for me, and it's a Jiri tea, Kenyan black tea, and it's really cool. It's the proceeds all go to charity to help kids go to school, to purchase books and uniforms for orphans in Kenya, and women in the area make these labels. They're handmade from banana leaves and paper magazines. It's really cool. So I will definitely keep this box when I'm finished with the tea. I tried one the other day, and it's very good. It's like similar to English breakfast black tea. Okay, let's see what else we have. I'm going to tell you what I'm wearing first, which goes to a different segment, but it's like 75 degrees today, so I need to take it off. I got this sweater. We went on a thrifting trip last weekend. Yeah, last Friday. And I found this sweater. It's a cardigan, just a button-up cardigan. Silk and cashmere at Goodwill. And it looked brand new, like never been worn, and it fits perfect. So, yeah. But it's too hot for silk and cashmere, so I'm going to take it off. Yeah, I'm afraid winter is well over in Louisiana. We have moved on to spring, and I'm afraid summer is going to be here really soon. But I love this color. Let's put it right here. I was watching Robin of Stitching Between Pages, and she was talking about how she was ready for spring and the temperatures to be about 50 or 60 degrees, and I was laughing because that's winter in Louisiana. Spring is 70's if you're lucky, and into the 80's, and then summer is 90's to 100 with humidity like crazy and horrible. I hate summer. So yeah, I think people's favorite season totally depends on where they live. So if I lived in Chicago or somewhere up north where in the summer it was 85 degrees, I'd be okay with that. That would be all right. But oh no, just summer is like 6 months of torture here, and winter is way too short. So I live in the wrong state. Okay, let's see. Knitting. I worked on my Marshall a little bit. This is the Marshall cardigan by Nora Gone for the, that's not the one with the picture. It's Brooklyn tweed or Wool People, one of those patterns. There you go. It's a cardigan with mostly stockinette, but it has brioche pockets and a collar and edging. And I'm on the last piece, which is the right front, which has the buttonholes for the button band on it. And here's what I have done. I think last time I had 3 buttonholes maybe, and now I have 5. And 1 more to put. It's supposed to have 7, but I only have 6 buttons, so I'm only putting 6. So I'm getting there. I've done all the waist shaping. So I'm back to straight knitting, and then it's gonna start tapering up after that. And that is knit with Brooklyn Tweed Shelter and Loft. Oh, wrong way. This is Loft. This is Shelter. And the Homemade Jam colorway. And they're both the same colorway, but the Shelter is a little more red, sort of red purple, and the Loft has like a brown tint to it. But I don't care. I think it looks fine. It's the Shelter is the edging and the pockets, so it kind of looks like intentional. It's not that different that it looks bad. Or not to me. I'm okay with it. So I really want to finish that soon because I have at least 2 other sweaters that I want to start. 3 actually. So I go from never knitting sweaters to wanting to have 4 of them at the same time. Oh well. Okay, the next thing I have is it's spinning and knitting. So I spun, I think I showed last time I had spun some merino silk that I got from Knit Picks, and I finished spinning that, the rest of it, and then I dyed it because I didn't like the color. But I'll show you the color that it was before. This was what was left on one of the bobbins after I finished plying, and I used an Indian plying bracelet, which I'd never done before, and it was okay, but it didn't ply very evenly for me because I guess the first time I ever did it. So, but anyway, this is what it looked like before I dyed it. So I actually dyed this also. I dyed the roving. No, it was top, and it had big splotches of teal, red, and silver, and then there was a lot of white still. So whenever I spun it, it turned into pastel colors, which are not really my colors. So I dyed that with the teal color that I had originally used, and that's what it turned out like, and I love it now. So that's the first little sample that I had done that I dyed. And then the bigger part looked like this. I think it's not quite the right color on there, but it's close. It's teal basically. And you can see a little bit of the red, pinky red still showing through underneath. So I really like how that turned out. So then I needed to knit with it immediately after I finished it. So I started looking at patterns, and I think I have 240-ish yards. And I believe it's like a DK, sport DK weight. So I found the Retreat Cowl by Joji Locatelli, and that used a little bit more yardage, but so this is what I have so far. That's the wrong side. This is the right side. I took off one of these little, there's supposed to be another section with this little stripe and this band over here, but I took off 8 stitches, and I think it'll be plenty big. It's gonna go this way, you go around and connect it, and then you pick up the top and do a little lace section. So it'll be plenty long enough to wear as a cowl. I probably could have taken another one off and then had the lace, but hopefully I'll have enough yardage this way. But I really like it. It's so soft and very easy knit, so I'm enjoying that. And I'm using a size US 6, which I think is a 4mm. These are Chiaogu bamboo needles, and I really like these. They swivel on the end. I've never had needles that did that before. I got these for Christmas. My sister was buying me something for Christmas, and I saw these and they were $6, and so she got me these too, just to try. I've never tried Chiao's because I didn't know they had bamboo. I thought they were, everybody always shows the metal ones, and I don't like metal needles, so I really like these. So I'm gonna have to check and see if they have an interchangeable set with the bamboo, because they're super smooth. They're not, some bamboo is really grippy, but this one is not as grippy. That's Buddy walking around. If you hear feet, he has very big feet. He's going to bed. Okay, so that was my spinning, one of my spinning dyeing experiments. And then my other one, which I did last night, was I spun up one of my samples that I had gotten from Phoenix Farm Fiber. This is the Rommeldale CVM roving in the natural gray. It's 1 ounce sample, and I spun half an ounce of it last night. And yeah, it's super fuzzy. It has still has some lanolin in it, so it was pretty sticky. And I wanted to spin it woolen because it's roving and it's very airy. But I don't know how to do it all the way yet. So I can't even tell you what technique I was actually using to spin it. But I'm hoping it'll be an airy yarn when I'm finished with it. I'm sure it'll be very uneven because it was a little sticky, and it would have like a blob that would come out, and the twist wouldn't get in that part, and then some thinner pieces. But it's an experiment. I'm practicing with this, and then I have 3 more samples to practice on before I spin my Gulf Coast native sweater quantity. So, and I definitely want that to be similar to like a Brooklyn tweed, kind of a really airy woolen spun yarn, because I really like knitting with that yarn. So that was fun, and let's see, I think that's all my spinning and my knitting. So I will do a little bit. I got something in the mail. I ordered some yarn. I had my Jimmy Beans rewards were sitting there, so I had to use them. And I've been wanting to knit the Nomad by Nora Gone. I bought that pattern at the same time that I bought the Marshall pattern. They're both in the same issue of, let's see if it's Wool People or get my iPad going. It's a poncho. Yeah, it's Brooklyn Tweed Winter 15. So, and my iPad is very slow. There we go. So this is what it looks like. Oh, that's too bright. Let's see. Is that you? There we go. It's all done with, you know, knits and purls, and that, I think, maybe some twisted stitches, but, you know, it's all the same color. And I really like it. You can wear it that way, or you can turn it and have, you know, the opposite direction. So that was the intention for the yarn that I just bought, which is this Cascade 220 Heathers in the birch. It doesn't say. It's birch heather, which is this beautiful gold, kind of weedy gold color. I mean, it reminds me of the stalks of grasses in the wintertime in the fields. And I don't know if this actually looks good on me or not. I think it'll be okay. I have really sort of pinky red skin, so I don't know. I don't really care. I like it, so I'm gonna make something out of it anyway. I have 6 skeins of it. And sorry. Yeah, so that was the intention for this yarn. But Brooklyn Tweed is coming out with a Gansey collection today, which I just checked and it's not out yet. But I've seen a couple of previews of the a couple of sweaters on Instagram, and the one that Jared Flood posted, I love it. I don't know if it's a pullover or a cardigan because it was from the back, but if that's knit and shelter, this might have to be that instead of the Nomad. The Nomad may have to wait again. But we'll see. I'm going to look at that whenever it comes out and see. I think there may be either 6 or 9 patterns that are coming out today in that collection. And I might have to do that. So that will become something very soon, either a poncho or a sweater. And then the next thing that I got really excited about was the new Interpretations collection by Joji and Vera Balamaki. And I like a couple, well, I like a lot of them, but I don't have it on here. Anyway, the one that I really, really like, which a lot of people seem to also, is the Breathing Space sweater by Vera. And I started thinking, you know, I don't have a very big stash, but I do have some stash. I usually buy yarn with something in mind because, you know, budgets and things. I just, that's how I have to do it. But if I'm on vacation or, you know, certain times, I'll just buy random yarn that I really like. But that yarn a lot of times ends up just sitting in my stash for a long time. So whenever I saw that pattern, I started thinking, ooh, I wonder, looking at how much yardage it needed, and it's fingering weight, and I do have some fingering weight because I like to knit shawls. So, and I remembered I had 2 skeins of this Tosh Merino Light. It's the Tanglewood colorway, which was part of the a yarn club that I was in a few years ago. So it's kind of old. 1 year for my birthday, I joined the Madeline Tosh Yarn Club. And I had, let's see, 2, 4, at least 6 skeins of yarn from that club. And I've tried to make things out of, it's 3 different colorways out of all of those. And a cowl that I showed a couple of episodes back, it was kind of purplish, like a light purple with a gray. It was like a lethal pattern. That was one of those yarns. That's the only thing I've ever made with it. I tried to make a shawl out of this, 2 different shawls out of this yarn, the other skein of it, neither of which worked. But I have 2, so I think this could be the main color of the sweater. And then this was just an impulse buy from a few years back too. This is I don't even know how to say it. It's the Verdant Griffin Eidos, and then the colorway is that Poesis. Anyway, they're both 100% merino. This one's ply, this one's a single ply. But I think that would look really well as the stripes. With this as the main color and this as the stripe. Because it's got some green in it, and it'll be a little bit of a subtle stripe, which I think I would like that. So I'm really, really excited about this. but I need to finish the Marshall first, and it uses the same size needle. So I'm gonna finish that one, finish my at least knitting the Marshall, and then I'll let myself cast on this one. And this one I will more than likely cast something on as soon as I figure out if I want to do one of the Ganseys or if I want to do the Nomad. Then I'll get started on that. So that's some future projects that I'm excited to start. I didn't knit. I did 4 rows on my doodler, so it looks pretty much the same. And yeah, I think that's all I knit on that and the Marshall and the cowl that I just started, and that was about it. Okay, so yeah, last Friday my mom and my sister and I went to the LSU book sale, which I have been going to since I was in college, and we figured out that this is the 20th year that I've gone, and my mom and sister have probably gone 19 years. They didn't go the first year because I was at school and I just discovered it and then went crazy and bought like a box full of books, and then the next year they came, and they've been coming ever since. And some years my dad would come too, but yeah, that's kind of our one of our traditional things we do every year is we go to the book sale and we go and eat somewhere, and then we do a little shopping. And the last few years we've been doing the book sale and thrift stores, which is really fun. So that's what we did this year too. We went to the book sale, and I got all craft books this year. Sometimes I get fiction, nonfiction. They have everything. It's crazy. They have like a little barn full of books, and then another little building with other books in it, and you know, everything you can think of. They also have like records and DVDs and that kind of thing also. So this year I went a little crazy in the craft section, which is not surprising. I was looking for Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell in the regular part, but I couldn't find one. I ended up downloading it. So, but in the crafty section, they had a few knitting and crochet books in there. The first one I saw, let's see when this was from. This is from 1975, so this book is as old as me. And this is The Woman's Day Book of Granny Squares and Other Carry Along Crochet. But look at this hat. I just had to have this because it reminded me of when I was a kid, and yeah, I love this sweater. I would possibly make this sweater, except do the sleeves knitted, do this part crocheted, and then pick up and knit the sleeves. Possibly, more than likely not in the colors that they used, which I'll show you in the color section. It's not bad, it's just super bright. Yeah, I just love crazy stuff like that. Yeah, it's fun to look at. Look at this skirt. Yeah. Granny square skirt with fringe. So this is, you know, this looks like something people would make today, except possibly with different colors. But it looks like a cool square pattern for crochet. I have a crochet blanket that I haven't shown, that I've been working on for a couple of years. But I'll get that out next time I work on. Every once in a while I'll want to do that. I have almost all the squares done. I just need to connect them all and then put a border around it. Anyway, so that was a really fun one, and I I couldn't pass it up. It was 50 cents. So, and then the next one I got was America's Knitting Book by, it's a hardcover. Gertrude Taylor. So, and this is sort of, it has a lot of techniques in it. Stitch patterns, how to do buttonholes, how to knit on double pointed needles, how to size sweaters. I mean, just tons of information on here in this book. So I just thought that would be interesting to look at as a reference book to see how people used to, you know, if it's the same as how people do things now. This one is from 1968, so yeah. It's very technical. It's got like measurements, skirts. It's got where to put the decreases. I would never knit a skirt, but you know, raglan sweaters. Here's some color work. So that'll be fun to look through. And then I've heard a lot about this one. This was The Knitter's Handy Book of Patterns by Ann Budd. So I got that, and this is pretty cool. It's got sort of standard patterns for gloves, hats, mittens, sweaters, scarves, socks, vests. I think that's it. In multiple sizes and gauges. So, yeah, so I think you find out your gauge, and then you find out what size you want, like the hat. It'll have a list with the gauges, and then if you want to knit a 21-inch hat and your gauge is whatever, then you'll, 6 stitches to the inch, and you cast on 128 stitches. So pretty cool. So I'll probably be using that. I think that would be a good one to do with hand spun. Okay, then I got this Loop the Loop. This one I think is from the 90s. If I had to get, oh no, 2005. So it's only 11 years old. And it's by Tiva Durham. And it's just got some really cool patterns in it. Things that I would never make, but then some of them that I would really like to make. Like I would never make that. But I love this sweater. I really like that sweater, so I definitely want to make that one. And which other one? This one is really cool. I don't know if I would ever make it. It looks very time consuming, but I like it. So, for the price, it was good. And this is my favorite one so far. This is the Stitchery Idea Book by Beverly Rush. And look at this cover. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, it's all shiny. Oh my. Oh. Yeah, it's got like a plastic coating on it, so I don't think you can see it very well. Oh, it's crazy. Let's see, this has got to be from 74. So, yeah, it's not really knitting. It's got a lot of embroidery, and there's some applique and weaving. I don't know if there is any knitting in here. Beadwork, all kinds of things. But I think it might talk about natural dyes a little bit. It's crazy. just makes me think about how boring our clothes are now compared to what people used to wear. Yeah. Look at this. There you go. It's just amazing. Look at these. I mean, just insane. I wish people wore stuff like that still. That would be fun. I'm sure somebody does somewhere. Because Stephen West wears insane stuff, and I think that's super fun. So I guess you know, nowadays you have to be very comfortable with your having attention on yourself to wear out there kind of clothes. Yeah, it's like a patchwork vest. Let me see that. And then a pretty quilt. Oh, this vest. This looks maybe crocheted. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, so anyway, having a good time looking at that one as well. And I think that's it for today. Let's see. Yep, I think I got everything. I wanted to say thank you to Sandra from the Craftfulness Project podcast for commenting the nice comment she's left on my podcast. I really appreciated that. I have 18 followers, so thank you so much for watching my show. I know I can't keep up with all the ones that I want to watch. There are so many, much less listen to. I like to listen to audio podcasts. There's a couple days a week where I have time to listen while I work to audio podcasts. So I really enjoy those. Right now I'm listening to the Knit More Girls. I've gone through all of Knitting Pipeline, all of the Yarniacs, Prairie Girls Knit and Spin. I love all those. And yeah, the Knit More Girls are really fun. So I'm enjoying that one right now. Also like Pom Pom Quarterly. So if anybody has any audio podcasts that they wanted to recommend, that would be great. And the video ones, I really can only watch those a little bit when I wake up in the morning, and then at night, and then on my day off. Sometimes I'll put them on while I'm doing other stuff. So it's harder to find the time to watch those, but I love them. Obviously I do a video podcast, so I would still always want to watch a new one, because you never know. I mean, you might find somebody you really like that has very similar taste, or just fun to watch. So yeah, recommendations on those are good too. And I think that's it. Christy didn't want to sit with me today. She's sleeping on the sofa. We're supposed to get really bad weather today and tomorrow. Still waiting for it to hit. It's so far just windy and dark. No rain yet, but hopefully it won't be as bad as they say it will. We shall see. So I thought I would hurry up and film before that starts, if it does start. And I seem like I'm going to 2 weeks now. Some things happen, so maybe I will see next week if I have done enough. If not, then it'll probably be in 2 weeks. So thank you very much for watching. Bye.